Hi everyone, Vegas from Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard, here to review The Way Back, starring Ben Affleck and directed by Gavin O'Connor. This is the first collaboration of Gavin O'Connor and Ben Affleck since The Accountant, which I really liked. What a fantastic film. I hear there's a sequel going into it now. So to see these two team up again for a completely different kind of picture was really intriguing to me. He had a great future in high school. He was one of the top basketball players in the country, but he turned down a scholarship. He turned down a free ride and an NBA glory. And I'm not going to, this is a spoiler for your review. We learn out later why. The movie opens with him and his backstory where he's working construction. He's separated from his wife, and there was some sort of family tragedy. There was something, not only a family tragedy, but stuff. He's carrying a lot of baggage from the past, and we see him right away drinking. We see him drinking on the job, construction work, and putting vodka in his coffee mug. We see him drinking beer in the shower. We see him heading right to a bar afterwards. So we just see this man drowning his sorrows, drowning his pain in alcohol. And there's a life preserver thrown to him. What's the word? Not life preserver. A lifeline thrown to him. His old Catholic school calls up his high school, and the head father says, you know, our coach just had a heart attack, and we're looking for someone to step in, and I thought of you right away. And he's like, well, I've never coached before. Yeah, but you are one of the most amazing basketball players, and you know, please come and coach this team of ragtag boys who don't win. And so right away he thinks to himself, you know what, I'll try something. I gotta, you know, pull myself out of this rut. And of course he's still drinking. But then there's a moment, of course, where the movie turns around, where he tries to do the right thing. And right away I kept thinking, when I saw the trailer for this, I thought, okay, this is Hoosiers, right? With Gene Hackman. Who could forget that? With Dennis Hopper, and just a fantastic movie. But quickly I thought to myself while watching the movie, it's Leaving Las Vegas meets Hoosiers. Now, here's the thing about this movie. It's rated R. It's hardcore R. A lot of swearing in it, a lot of adult situations. It is really not Hoosiers. And I saw some interviews with Ben Affleck and some other things, so it's not Hoosiers. And they're right. It's not about him getting this basketball team, taking him to the playoffs. They all win and put him on his shoulders and all of that. Every kind of stereotype you have for this kind of movie doesn't happen. Okay, I'm not doing any spoilers because that's not what this movie's about. And I just wanted to make sure you knew that going in, that, you know, he's an alcoholic. He gets redemption by joining the basketball team. He wins the respect and peers of his family and of his team. And it's not that kind of movie. It is not that at all. It's about Ben Affleck's character. I think it's Jack Cunningham. It's about his journey of redemption, his journey of pain, his journey in alcoholism and abuse, and about trying to turn his life around. And he's gone through terrible tragedy, which, you know, you'll find out in the movie. So I quickly realized, you know, when things didn't start happening like those formulaic sports movies, that this was a totally different kind of film. And I really enjoyed it from that aspect, because I think Ben Affleck is one of our most talented actors. He doesn't get enough credit. This is his best role in years. And he said in interviews, you know, because his past, he's had a lot of trouble with alcohol and drug abuse and has been in rehab many times. He says he couldn't play this role 10 years ago. So as you're watching this movie and knowing his backstory, you know, I kept thinking, wow, did any of this movie trigger things? God, I wish I did the junket for this, but I couldn't get on it. And I thought, did anything kind of trigger, you know, doing this movie? Because you see him drinking a lot of near beer or fake beer in the movie, but just like, you just watch him drink himself to death in this movie. And it's just really sometimes hard to watch. And I just couldn't, I couldn't look at the screen sometimes because I don't drink. You know, my family, we just never drank growing up. I've never had a bottle of beer in my life. I've tasted beer, but I've never had beer. You know, so I've known a lot of people who have alcohol abuse. I know people who go through it to this day, who drink themselves in the morning and do like that. And it's unbelievable to me. But just when people start drinking, it's very hard to stop. And Ben Affleck, in real life and in this character, it's just kind of like when fiction and true life meet together. So just be warned when you go into this movie, it is not, don't bring the family and don't bring the kids and to see some sort of Hoosiers movie. Instead, you're going to see Ben Affleck carry this movie of a man who is just a man who's lost and hardcore, you know. So this was a really intriguing drama, and I was really surprised how great Ben Affleck is in this. And of course, there's some other outstanding performances, and they don't go through the whole team, but each of the kids on the team has a personality, has a backstory, has a character. He takes one under his wing, the most talented player on the team, and he, you know, T.K. Carter plays his father, which is great because he was one of my favorite actors from the 80s. And so there's some really amazing performances that surround Ben Affleck, but he is the pillar in this movie. So The Way Back was an incredible performance by Ben Affleck, and just an amazing film. It really was. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Make sure you check me out on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel and maybe give me a thumbs up and comment below. What did you think of The Way Back? Was it too hard to watch at times? Yeah, I felt that way too. But, you know, I was cringing. I was watching through my fingers sometimes, and it wasn't a horror film, but it was a horror show of a different kind. I'm Chef Ricky Howard in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.